Cohousing, recreating the village. Let's imagine for a moment that you live in a place where you know all your neighbors and where all your relationships are based on mutual respect and appreciation. Imagine being part of a community like that, a community that cares about you and one that you care about deeply. Regrettably, most of us do not live in such a place. We live in a world where bigger is better, in houses that allow us to collect more and more things. We are pretty well self sufficient within our four walls, yet many of us use only 40% of the space within those walls. More often than not, we do not even know our neighbors. How did that happen? For the longest time in history, communities were intentional on many levels. Houses were built to accommodate extended families. Villages were designed in ways that brought people together for work and play, a place where neighbors felt connected. The front porch was not an accident. Today, most of us rarely run into our neighbors as we go about our business. Busy young families struggle alone with the demands of full-time work and raising families. Our elderly often sacrifice safety and live in isolation rather than go into care. Perhaps the neighborhood of the 21st century needs a reboot. No, I'm not talking about the hippies and communes of the 60s. I'm talking about a neighborhood that balances our need for privacy with our need for social interaction. A neighborhood that respects individual autonomy, yet allows us to live with a smaller environmental footprint. Cohousing originated in Denmark and was brought to North America in 1988. There are now more than 25 developments in Canada, with 10 located in BC. Today, co-housing groups come together to share resources to make the planning process easier and more economical than ever before. Fortunately for us, the trailblazing has already been done. Some co-housing developments have made the choice to be multi-generational, and they include singles, couples, and families. Others started as 55-plus developments for active seniors. Some include affordable housing options. Some are urban, some are rural, but they all have one thing in common. Like-minded individuals all came together with intent to create those communities. They came together and planned every detail hand in hand with the people who eventually would become their neighbors. Each member of the group became a stakeholder in a dream that was much larger than themselves. In Souk, for example, the Harborside group chose to make their development senior-focused as opposed to age-restricted. Thinking ahead, they built in accommodation for 2 live-in care workers should the need present itself in the future. And obviously, ocean views were also on their priority list. Heddlestone Village outside of Nelson is the only co-housing development in the Kootenays. It is a new 12-duplex multi-generational complex that opted for a strong environmental focus, actively making conscious connections to their food, water, and energy sources. A Burnaby group developed Cranberry Commons, a complex of 22 townhouses and apartment-styled homes arranged around a common courtyard. Sustainability was a priority in every aspect of the design, from the selection of the site right up to the solar hot water panels installed on the roof. The Windsong development in Langley sits on a 6-acre site with organic community gardens and a 4-acre natural reserve. Members there opted for a glassed-in pedestrian way, an industrial kitchen, fireside lounge, play, exercise, and media rooms. Courtenay is home to Creekside Commons that consists of 3 distinct neighborhoods radiating out from a large timber frame common house. The development also includes a large green-roofed workshop that includes a finishing shop and an arts and crafts room, complete with pottery kiln. As you can see, there are a lot of co-housing options in terms of location, architecture, size, and amenities. But it is the similarities that make them so marketable. Members own their own strata-titled homes in complexes designed for interaction with their neighbors, safety, and a sustainable lifestyle. Co-housing residents participate in the planning, design, and ongoing management and maintenance of their communities. The community is not dependent on any one person. There are no leaders, only leadership roles. Decisions are made by consensus, which puts everyone on an equal footing. Consensus sounds like a nightmare, right? Thankfully, we have knowledgeable people who can be hired to guide groups through the difficult decision-making process. This gives members an opportunity to see and consider a variety of points of view, which is a powerful dynamic in community building. They say if members can work out their problems along the way, they won't have to worry about not getting along with them after they actually move in. Co-housing is a huge exercise in personal growth that forces people to develop good communication and problem-solving skills. So, who is a good candidate for co-housing? Somebody who likes meetings? Absolutely. Somebody willing to share leadership? Definitely. It can include younger families or single parents who want to raise their children with the support of a community, empty nesters who simply want to downsize, as well as active seniors who want to age in a supportive environment. Anyone with a strong commitment to the idea of community. The idea is beginning to get some traction in the East Kootenays. A grassroots movement is beginning to take shape in Invermere, where a small group of people have recently come together in hopes of starting a co-housing development of about 20 to 24 units. In order to move ahead with actual planning decisions, it requires a dedicated group of 8 to 10 parties. The path to co-housing is not an easy one, but it is a very satisfying one. It is only limited by the imagination, desire, and resources of the people who come together to actively create their neighborhoods. It is a housing alternative whose time has come. Thank you for your interest in co-housing.